Hello everyone, this is Helbo and today we're here for another video, or more precisely another showcase on a 4-star that lots of people like and also lots of people are using, the one and only Danjin. Danjin is a very good 4-star that is used a lot, especially for the hologram bosses. It is for sure one of the best 4-star in what she's doing, and she's even matching some 5 stars in my opinion. Without any further ado, here's the showcase. So Danjin's kit is actually one of a kind. You will not find another character in the game that actually does the same thing as her. Why? It's because the particularity of Danjin is that she's kind of like a vampire. Essentially, whenever I'm going to deal damage with Danjin, she's going to drain her own HP, but it's only with her E. So with the resonance skill, if I do some auto attacks, it's not going to do it, and it's also not going to increase the forte George. So you need to do some combos with Danjin, you need to combo with like auto attacks as well as the E. But at the same time, you have some combos that you can do with Danjin, and as you can see now, there's this mark. This mark essentially gives Danjin 20% more damage and lasts for 12 seconds, so this is something that you essentially want to get. Now you have specific combos for Danjin that you can use that are going to give you this mark. The combos are basic attack, and double E, or E, basic attack, double E. So it's just basic twice and then E. You can see you have this little mark that showed up, and so this is going, once again, this is going to provide Danjin with 20% more damage, and the mark is going to last for 12 seconds. Now the other combo you can do is the E, basic, double E. And we also have another mark that showed up. Now once you've done this, what you want to do is do damage combos. The damage combos are essentially really easy to get. You do 3 basic attack and 3 E. So basic, E, E, E. And this one is the first damage combo you can do. The next one is E, 2 basic, E, E, E. Alright. This is essentially what you're going to be doing with Danjin. You're essentially first going to get the mark, and then you're going to be doing the damage combo. So basic, E, 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 and you're doing a damage combo. Alright, now you probably saw that this is going up, the forte George is going up as you are attacking. As I said earlier, Danjin is going to be draining her own HP. There is a way for her to gain her HP again, and this is essentially by consuming this forte George. So let me drain her HP again. Alright. It's drained a little bit. Now if I hold, this is going to be doing a heavy attack, and to consume the forte George you need to do a heavy attack followed by a basic attack. So here we go. There we go. And as you can see, it gave me back my health as well as dealing loads of damage. You can trigger this the moment you reach half, but the fuller it's going to be, the more damage it's going to deal. So let's just go over it one more time. Basic, E, E. The mark is now on. Basic, E, 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 damage combo, or you can also do E, 2 basic, E, E, E. This is another damage combo. Alright, now for Danjin's ultimate, it's essentially just a flurry of attack, just like that. She's going to be dealing loads of damage. It's not going to drain any of her HP, but it's just going to do lots of damage. Alright, now that we've seen Danjin's kit, let's go over how you're going to be building her. As you can see, my Danjin has some pretty alright stats, right? Almost 50 crit rate and 177 crit damage. This is alright, but it's obviously going to go up as this goes up and as the weapon go up. Depending on what weapon you have, you might get the same stats, or it might actually not be achievable for you. Just like you saw, I have Emerald of Genesis. Emerald of Genesis is the weapon that you get from the standard banner. This is the standard banner light sword. And as you can see, this sword is providing 15 crit damage on just the second ascension. So on level 50 It's almost providing 16 crit rate. This is already huge, and it's obviously not something you're going to achieve if you don't have that sword, or you're just going to have extremely good echoes. Now let me go over multiple weapons that you can get. Obviously, Emerald of Genesis is the best weapon you can get. It provides crit rate as substats, as well as providing energy regen. It gives an attack buff of 12% when a skill is used, and it can be stacked 2 times at least 10 seconds. The second best weapon you can get is Lumen Gloss. This is the weapon you're going to get in the Battle Pass. If you are a low spender, this is probably something you want to get if you like playing Danjin. It has attack percentage as a substat, and it increases basic attack and heavy attack damage by 20% when a skill is used, stacking up to 1 time and lasts 10 seconds but can only be triggered 1 time every 1 second. This is essentially a really good weapon for Danjin because obviously it can be triggered 1 time every 1 second whenever you use a skill, and Danjin, you're essentially going to be spamming her skill pretty much every second. So this is actually a really good low spender option, I guess you can get. Now, as a more free-to-play version, you can get sword number 18. This sword you can get at the crafting table. You obviously need a few materials to craft her, but if you farm a bit, you can obviously get it fairly easy. It has also attack percentage as a substat. And this one is when the Resonator's health drop below 40%, it increases the heavy attack damage by 80%, as well as restoring HP by 5% when dealing heavy attack damage. This one, on the other hand, can only be triggered 1 time every 8 seconds. So you can already see that this is already a downgrade from Lumen Gloss, but if you cannot get Lumen Gloss in the Battle Pass and you want a more free-to-play option, this is going to be the best weapon you can use on Danjin. And the last option, the fourth option, is Commando of Conviction. This weapon you can get it in the gacha banner, essentially on any type of banner that is currently out on the game as of 1.0. And it has attack as well as the substats, and when the intro skill is released, it increases the attack by 15%, lasting 15 seconds. This is also a good option. It's less free to play because it is in the gacha, but some of you might already have it since early of the game. Since the beginning of the game, we technically already had quite a lot of pulls that have been given to us. Now going into the echoes. So you can already see I have a few legendary echoes. Don't worry if you don't have this. This is obviously something that you want to obtain as time goes by. As you can see, I still have 1 epic because I essentially farmed every echo that could have the Havoc Sonata effect, and now I just cannot farm them for today, so I will obviously get that last one. It's just going to take a little bit longer. Now let's go over the stats that you want to get. The 4 costs that you want to get for your echo is going to be a crownless. Some might think that it's actually a good idea to go for the Dreamless Echo. Some of you might think that going on the Dreamless is going to be better, but there's a really good reason why I do not recommend going for the Dreamless. Why is because the damage of this echo skill is increased by 5 during the first 50% after Rover Havoc cast Resonance Liberation. Essentially, if you want to beneficiate from this, you need to play Dreamless with the Rover Havoc. What if you play with the Crownless with any Havoc character, you're going to get, after the transformation, increased current character's Havoc damage by 12% and Resonance skill damage by 12% for 15 seconds. Essentially, Dreamless is not going to buff you if you're not playing Rover, but if you're playing any other Havoc character, so this can also work with Taoshi for example, it is going to provide you with that buff. So this is obviously an optional buff that you can get. If you do not really care about those 12% additional damage, then by all means go on the Dreamless. But personally, I just think it's best to go for that one. Alright, now for the main stat of the Echo, you're essentially, at least for now, early game, you're essentially going to be aiming for crit rate. I feel like it's better so that you can more easily reach the at least 50% crit rate. If you you have really good substats on your echoes and you can get lots of crit rate, then maybe you're going to want to go for a crit rate main stat. But as of now, early game, I think it is best to go for a crit rate, especially that not everyone can have the Emerald of Genesis, so you're going to need that big main stat. For the forecast, you're essentially going to want either crit rate or crit damage as a main stat. Now for the 2-3 cost echoes, you're essentially going to go for Havoc bonus damage. And now for the 1 cost, you're essentially going to go for attack as the main stat, and obviously the substats, it's the same again, crit rate, crit damage, attack, you just go for those. Obviously for Danjin skill tree, you're going to want to increase everything. I would recommend maybe going for these first because they provide quite some interesting stuff for Danjin, but in the end you're just going to get everything, so I guess it's alright. For Danjin's sequence, ideally you're going to want to go up to the S5 so that you can get all the buffers that can be provided to Danjin. The S6 is alright if you want to play Danjin as a buffer, but it's not really necessary, I would say. And to end things, before at least leaving you with some footage of Danjin, you might be wondering in which team you're going to be playing her. Essentially, this is a team you can go for, although Verena is really not essential. I would say that technically for Danjin, you're going to be wanting to get Sanhua. The reason why is because Sanhua outro skill is the next character or other characters on a nearby team that activates an outro skill gain 38 basic attack damage deepened for 14 seconds or so until they are switched off field. This is a really huge buff from Sanhua, which is why technically Sanhua is the best one to go with Danjin. So let me just show you essentially what a regular rotation is going to be. I'm not really going to be switching on Verena on this, but I'm just going to show you. So essentially you're just going to want to start with Danjin until you get the outro skill. Then you're going to switch on Sanhua, you're going to do your entire rotation. And then you're going to be triggering your outro skill. Which is essentially going to be giving Danjin the buff attack. Now as you can see, we're just going to be dealing lots of damage to Beringol. And he's now gone. Alright. Something else you can do for Sanhua is essentially giving her this Sonata effect, because after casting outro skill, it increases the attack of the next resonator by 22.5% for 15 seconds. This is the best way to play Sanhua with Danjin. She's essentially going to be a huge support for Danjin. So just go with this and you're going to see your Danjin is going to pop off. As you can see, I even forgot to do this on mine, but it was still giving some really good damage with Sanhua. So this is essentially the team you're gonna want to go for. Alright, I hope you enjoyed today's video on Danjin. Leave a comment if you have any question and I'll try to reply. And otherwise, I guess I'll just tell you to leave a like, subscribe, follow my social media. You can also join my Discord. The link is on the description. If you like the video, make sure to just follow me so that you can see any other video that we'll release. And until we see each other again, I'm just going to leave you with the footage of Danjin against some hard bosses that you can find. And I guess I'll just see you on the next one. Bye bye guys.
早めに片付けよう。よっ、世界が赤く。大きくなあれ。今植物だって生きてるんです。私の出番。いくよ。いくよ。やっはっはっ。早めに片付けよう。世界が赤く。これでどう。悔い改めろ。行くよ花よ。チャンス。私の出番。世界が赤く。はっ、行くよ。切り伏せる。これでどう。任せてください。やっ、ボトンシンセシス。今日向ぼっこの時間ですよ。私の出番。いくよ。よっ、早めに片付けよう。世界が赤く。いくよ。世界が赤く。これでどう。はい、いけますか。今私の出番。早めに片付けよう。いくよ。世界が赤く。いくよ。許さない。いや、これでどう。よいしょ。痛いの飛んでけ。私の出番。